Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. What I've been doing over the past few months is recording and releasing a week that was video on a Friday afternoon. Now, typically when I release those videos or record those videos, I have to do it after trading has finished on the Friday. And even though I have done that today, waited till trading has finished, I've decided not to do a week that was video, but to do a video on 5 companies that have become interesting to me over the past 5 days because it looks like the share price could be breaking out. And I'm going to look at these 5 companies' charts in today's video. Now, for full disclosure, I do own a couple of these companies. A couple of these companies I do not own. And one of these companies I took a position in today. And I'll talk about that company at the end of the video. So let's get stuck into it. The market has closed and the XGO is down at 0.13% today after a pretty good week overall. So let's start with Catapult, a company actually I do own, and the company actually did release their results. So all the companies we will be featuring in today's video, potential breakouts, release some announcements, some news came through from the companies, and that is typically what I'm looking for when it comes to breakouts. There are a few things I'm looking for. A breakout on positive financial news, and there's one other thing I'm looking for, and that is a breakout with the share price at least a 6-month high. Also look at volume. So the reason I'm starting with Catapult is because I don't consider this a breakout because it is not a 6-month high. In fact, from the end of May all the way through to October, the share price has been higher than it is right now. And in fact, if the share price wasn't higher, so the share price rallied in May, and if the share price didn't rally in May, also rallied a little bit in July, if the share price was just creeping higher during that period, this would be a breakout. Now, the reason why I do look at 6-month highs is simply because of the psychology of normal investors, retail investors. And the psychology of retail investor is as soon as they take a position in a company, they want to see the share price rise immediately. If the share price doesn't rise, they will consider that company a dog stock and want to sell out as soon as the share price gets back up to where their share price they bought in. So if we go and look at Catapult on the 31st of July, on that particular day, the share price of Catapult rallied to $1.24. So there are shareholders of Catapult who bought at significantly higher prices than $1.04. May not seem a lot, but 20 cents higher is a fair bit. So those shareholders who bought at high prices and right now want to sell out. And that is added resistance or added supply of shares entering a market. And to gobble up those added shares or added supply, you need demand. And that is one of the reasons why I want to see a share price of a company rally on a really positive news, and I want to see really good volume. But even that sort of situation does not help when the share price has been higher and maybe even significantly higher over the past 6 months. So even though this was a promising financial results from Catapult, and the reason why the share price rallied 15% on the 14th of November, and actually rallied another 5% the next day. The reason we have seen share price pull back a little bit is because of all those shareholders who bought in at these levels and are now selling out. So increasing supply of shares on the market. We don't have enough demand just yet for the share price to remain at these levels. But wouldn't be surprised to see the share price sort of go sideways here and then eventually share price take off or move into an uptrend, a more consistent, less risky uptrend. And the reason I say less risky is even though the share price looks like it could be moving into uptrend, we still have that resistance. So even though this was a good result, exactly the sort of result I'm looking for in a potential breakout, not a 6-month high, or at least a 6-month high. So I don't consider this a breakout. But I am a shareholder of this company, and I am a shareholder of this company for the longer term. And it does look like the management team of Catapult is turning things around. And I think this company could be significantly profitable in 5 or 10 years. But I actually thought that about 5 years ago. Anyway, the second company I'm going to look at is ALQ, a company I don't own. In fact, the next 2 companies are companies I don't own. So ALQ or ALS Limited. I don't actually know exactly what this company does. Let's have a look. I've never done any research on this company. I was going to say mining services, that sort of thing, but they do. If I remember correctly, they do sampling stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's the right way to look at it. In fact, I could just go to TradingView and analyzing stuff for mining companies, that sort of thing. ALS engages in analytical and testing services, businesses, and partnerships. It operates through the selling segments, life sciences, commodities. The life sciences segment is involved in analytical testing data to assist consulting and engineering firms. So not only the commodities segment includes assaying and analytical testing. So sort of on the right path I was. You can see I've never researched this company before, but I have heard little bits and pieces about this company in the past. And if we have a look at the weekly chart, just to see how this company has been trading over the past, say, few years, you can see share price going sideways for about almost 3 years. Going sideways 3 years. Before that, share price was actually in a nice uptrend. In fact, it's been an uptrend since 2017, after reaching a bottom in 2016. And the reason this company hit a bottom in 2016 is because that was the bottom of the mining cycle, particularly when it comes to iron ore. So it does look like potentially this company is a little bit cyclical just because of what we saw the share price get to in 2016. However, if we just go back to what's happening today and this week, share price of ALS Limited has rallied 13.4% today, or this week, not today. And the main reason behind that is you can see the share price increase a fair bit on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. And this company did release something, a trading update? No, half-year results. Company released half-year results on is that a Tuesday? That would have been a Tuesday. The market liked it. So on the Tuesday, share price rallied 8.5% and then rallied another 4.5% on the Wednesday. I did not have a look at these half-year results, but without even looking at these half-year results, the market liked it, even though I have no idea what they were. The market liked it. I don't have to know or judge what these results were, if they were good or bad. All I have to do is just look at the market reaction. Now, the only problem is you can see the share price has been significantly higher over the past year. But in saying that, if we just draw a line to where the share price is right now, share price of ALS Limited, I keep on saying ALQ Limited, but ALS Limited closed at $12.14. So if we just draw a line to where it was last this high, it briefly went to this level on the 1st of August, but then share price collapsed after that. So the last time share price was this high was back on the 29th of May, 2023, almost at a 6-month high. Almost at a 6-month high. Now, this is very close to a breakout because not quite a 6-month high. And the very fact that the share price has remained at these levels over the past few trading days is a good sign moving forward for ALS Limited, that we don't see overwhelming selling and the share price dropping because of that overwhelming selling. So this is a good sign. But I have not put this onto my buy list right yet because the share price is not technically at a 6-month high. And even before that, a lot of shareholders bought at higher prices between November of last year and May of this year. So for about a 6-month period, shareholders were buying at higher prices. So there's still a little bit of resistance moving forward, all the way up to $13.40. And if we just look at the weekly chart again, and maybe the all-time high for this company is around $14. So you know, this is not quite on my watch list just yet, or the buy list just yet. And I probably should take a look at the results to understand why the market liked it. And maybe I'll like something when I look at the results. And I'll talk about that in a second, why it is important for me to look at results, because my opinion of a company has changed because of looking at one company's results. And that company will be at the end of this video today. Now, on to another company where we are potentially seeing a breakout, and this is Boral. This company did release a trading update. I think it was a trading update. Yeah, upgrade. Okay. So If you have been watching my videos, or if you know anything about me, you know my favorite type of announcement is a profit upgrade from a company. In fact, it is the most powerful type of announcement from a company, a profit upgrade. So on the 13th of November, which was Monday, Boral released an announcement. Boral upgrades financial year 24 earnings guidance. So straight away, we know the share price is going to increase after that. And the share price did rally. So let's have a look at Boral, have the daily chart. Now, when this company did release their results in August, the market loved it. You can see the rally in the share price, a beautiful uptrend had been developing. Well, it already developed, but has been in place since about the start of this year, so around about January. And to be honest with you, probably the time to buy Boral would have been sometime in early 2023, January or February. And you can see a beautiful uptrend developing. The financial year 23 results was sort of vindication of those who had seen this uptrend developing, a new trend in the share price, shift in sentiment, that sort of thing. But you can see the share price pulled back after that. In fact, the share price fell below where the share price was prior to, or around the time the share price took off after the company released their August results. But the share price started to move up again. So investors, whoever they were, traders, long-term investors, saw some value when the share price got to about $4.30. And that's sort of understandable, because if you go back to just before the company released their results, the share price was sort of going sideways at around about $4.30. So a lot of investors or traders saw the share price get to $4.30, and they remember the share price was around $4.30 before the share price took off, and they went, oh, the share price is back to these levels. I'm going to take a position in this company now. Now, when the company released this profit upgrade, the share price rallied 5.1%. I've seen share price of companies rally 20% on the back of a profit upgrade. And we can see what's happened after that. Share price hasn't fallen, which is a good sign. Share price has increased a little bit. But if we go back to late August, after the company released their results in August, would have been August 11th or 10th, you can see the share price going sideways. And then on the 30th of August, share price fell 8%. I'm not sure what caused that. In fact, let's have a look at what caused that little drop. What was it, the 30th of August? There was some sort of response query, no price sensitive announcement from the company on late August. So I'm not sure why the share price of the company decreased on the 30th of August, but that did send a little bit of fear into the market, and the share price kept on falling until the end of September. And then the share price started to turn around again. So there is a bit of resistance because of those shareholders who bought over about a 2-week period between $5 and $5.10. So not a large zone of share price zone of when or where or what price shareholders bought in, that has led to a little bit of resistance right now for Boral. If the share price can get above $5.10, right now at $5, that would be a fairly bullish move. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price pull back a little bit. In fact, some traders or investors might be wanting to see the pullback, and then eventually they'd want to see the share price get above $5.10 after a couple of tries, that sort of thing. So I've definitely put Boral Limited onto my watch list, my breakout watch list. So I do have a watch list, and this is a breakout watch list. Love to see, and just waiting to see what happens with Boral over the next few days. Trading days, that is, not calendar days, because the next 2 calendar days are Saturday and Sunday. Now to 2 companies that I do own in my portfolio. And MMA Offshore. Now, MMA Offshore, over the past few years, has had a storied history of releasing a really positive announcements. You can see the share price moved into an uptrend. And this is where I initially bought MMA Offshore back in February 2022 when the share price, this is a classic breakout of a share price moving into an uptrend and a shift in sentiment. This is textbook classic. And the reason why there was a breakout here and a shift in sentiment was just a shift in the sector this company has business in, which makes sense. So they have ships which service not only the mining sector, particularly oil and that sort of thing, but they have diversified into servicing renewable energy, wind farms, that sort of thing, also subsea services as well. And that's attempt to diversify is because if we have a look at the weekly chart, you can see this company went through significant problems back in the middle of 2000, well, from about 2013 through to about 2017 because of a downturn in the mining sector. And what they were doing in that mining sector, they could not support their operations. They had to sell a few boats, that sort of thing. And sentiment has started to turn quite quickly. Not quickly, but a good turn in sentiment around this company. And the company has kept on releasing positive announcements. You can go back to the 19th of December 2022, almost 1 year ago. Share price on that particular day rallied 21.3%. And then just look at what the share price did. You had about 3 weeks, in fact, you had over a month when the share price just went sideways. And that's actually really bullish. That's a really good sign. When a company share price increases 21% and then the share price goes sideways, and then the share price started to increase the day it moved into this moving average channel. That makes sense. I do know a few traders who will wait for the share price of a company after a positive announcement like this to either pull back or go sideways until the share price moves into some sort of moving average area they are looking at, that sort of thing, or just hit a moving average. And then on the 15th of November, MMA Offshore released it was sort of a trading update, or it was exactly titled a trading update. And I'll just quickly look at this trading update. Now, I am a holder trading this company right now. And the question I had is, should I add to my position? So technically, I probably should add to my position because this is exactly the sort of announcement I am looking for. Not the most powerful type of announcement. That is a profit upgrade. This is just MMA Offshore telling the market what they expect the results for the first half of the financial year is going to be in terms of EBITDA. So MA Offshore is pleased to advise that EBITDA for the first half of financial year is expected to be in the range of 55 to 60 million. Now, in isolation, that really means nothing. Now, unless there's some sort of guidance out there, which maybe there's no guidance from the company itself. They haven't really issued us any guidance for the full financial year. They actually mentioned this somewhere, I think. They did say that it is extremely pleasing start to the financial year with the business performing ahead of expectations. We are still firming up our contract positions for the second half, but expect the current positive market conditions to continue. But I'm pretty sure they said somewhere that they're not giving any guidance for the remainder of the year. But that's okay. This is guidance for the first half of the financial year. And remember that EBITDA was 55 to 60 million. So let's go back to, I'm not sure if in their AGM they did give the numbers, but let's go back to their financial year results, which was released in August. And we'll open up the presentation and look for an EBITDA number somewhere. This is because that's the only number they gave us. The only metric they gave us was the EBITDA. And this is where I went, okay. And this was not a surprise that the share price rallied 13% on this day. And the share price has remained at these levels the last few days. So let's have a look. Just waiting for it to open up. So remember, 55 to 60 million they're expecting for the first half of this financial year. And yeah, it's on the first page of their presentation. The EBITDA for the first half or the full year, financial year 2023, was only 69.3 million. So this is why the market got a little bit excited about this particular announcement, because they compared the first half EBITDA to the full year EBITDA. These companies are almost at the full year EBITDA in the first half of financial year 24. That's after increasing 115% from last year, financial year 22. That's why the share price has rallied. Now, will the share price rally further from here? Who knows? But this was a good announcement from the company. I wouldn't necessarily call this a breakout as per se, because the trend was up and the sentiment was positive. But this is a continuance of the uptrend, continuance of the positive announcements from this company. And to be honest with you, the last time the share price was this high was 2019. So we're talking about a 4.5-year high for MMA Offshore. And the only question I have is, will I add to my position in this company? So I have bought and sold this company over the past few years, took some profits, and then I bought back in. In fact, that's a very important thing to understand about yourself. And that's quite important when it comes to trading and understanding or realizing maybe you've made a mistake, that sort of thing. Because I heard some experts, professionals say that the reason why a buy and hold strategy works for most investors, or maybe I should say all investors, is because investors have a hard time buying back in when they've sold a company. And I don't have that problem at all. I never have a problem buying back in if I've realized I made a mistake or I've sold to take profits. And I've done that with MMA Offshore. In fact, I've done that with a lot of companies. So that sort of argument around the buy and hold strategy just does not work for me. But maybe it works for the majority of investors. Of course, I don't understand the mindset of most investors. And the only person who understands the mindset of most investors is the investor themselves. Now onto the company where I have taken a position this week. In fact, I took the position today, the 17th of November. I am doing a financial year 23 result video for this company because Elders, yes, it's Elders, released their financial year results during the week. And the share price had been in a really significant downtrend, a well-defined downtrend since the company released the results last year. On that day, the 14th of November 2022, share price of this company fell 22.9%. And that is a sell signal. When the share price falls like that in one day, on that sort of candlestick, that's a sell. And I've been hearing from a lot of analysis, a lot of experts, this is buy, and they're surprised the share price has been decreasing. And so a lot of sort of positive sentiment among the experts around this company. But the whole reason why I would not even think about buying this company was just the downtrend, unless I saw some value. And to be honest with you, I had done no research in this company at all until I had the request to do a financial year 23 result video on this company. And then I was a little bit surprised at what I found. And my opinion on this company actually changed a little bit. So look out for that video on Elders within the next week. I'm going to do or release that video on this company in the next week or so. Anyway, let's have a look at Elders and have a look at these financial results. And this might shock you when you look at these numbers. So straight away, we know the share price of Elders rallied 18.3% upon the release of the financial results. But not only that, if I just get rid of the moving averages so you can just see a little bit better, look what's happened to the share price after the company released those results on the Monday. The share price has gone sort of sideways or up a little bit. That's a really good sign, a really good sign. Now, I've gone against a few of my rules because the share price was at these levels back in August. And in fact, if I really followed my rules, I would be taking a position in this company if it got to or got above about $7.60. So I actually have ignored a few of my rules, but I just really like the action of what I've seen over the last 4 days after the company released their financial results. Now let's have a look at the financial results. And I think I've already opened it up. And those who just look at the numbers might be shocked that the share price of this company rallied a fair bit. Because if you look at it, all these numbers are down. Revenue down 4%, underlying EBIT down 26%, underlying profit before tax down 34%, operating cash flow up 49%, underlying earnings per share down 32%, total dividend per share down 18%. So wait out for my video on this company, and I'll explain it. And I was really surprised to see that this company has had really good growth over the last 10 years until this year. This was the first bad year, down year, not bad year, but down year this company has experienced over the last 10 years. I think it's 10 years. And even so, it was still the second best year this company has experienced over the past 10 years. So better than 2022, but not as good as better than 2021, but not as good as 2022. So the growth in this company is still there. But not only that, when you look at the valuation of this company, there's some really good value in this company, and the market is not expecting any growth moving forward. So it's just a value play, a possible value play I saw in Elders, and then I just had a look at the chart and went, well, possible value play, possible new uptrend trying to develop, nice reaction from the market the last 4 trading days after the company released the announcement, and I decided to take a small position, and I just put the stop loss at 10% from when I bought. So the the greatest I would lose is 10%. The greatest I might gain could be 100%, 200%, 20%, 500%. Who knows? But I just see good risk reward play. So sort of an asymmetric risk reward play here. And I think that the chances that my returns in this company could be significantly greater than that risk, which is only 10%. Anyway, that's all I have for this video today on 5 potential breakouts. And I've already said that a few of these companies are not technically a breakout. In fact, Catapult, ALQ, or ALS Limited, and even Elders technically is not a breakout to my definition, because I'm looking for at least a 6-month high. And Boral is, well, technically it's not. Well, even Boral technically is not a breakout because the share price was higher a little bit. So technically, based off my definition, these are all not breakouts, but Boral could be a continuation of the uptrend. Definitely MMA Offshore is a breakout, but I think it's just a continuation of the uptrend. But I think I was just willing enough to break one of my rules, which may be the wrong thing to do when it comes to Elders. So if you have any thoughts, any questions, I'd love to hear those. So leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.